When it comes to international first-class products, only a couple of airlines have them. Singapore Airlines has a couple of different versions. And is their A380 the best? We're going to show it to you next.
And now, a Let's Get to the Points airline review with Mitch.
Welcome to Changi Airport, the best airport in the world. And you may be wondering how true that is. Well, I think Rachel puts it best in Crazy Rich Asians, because here you're gonna find a butterfly garden, a movie theater, and a beautiful indoor waterfall among many other experiences. Changi is also the home to Singapore Airlines, one of the best Asian carriers out there, and one of the best first-class airline seats aboard their A380. Over the years, we've flown many different first-class products from airlines all over the world. In fact, one of our very first points and miles redemptions was on Singapore's A380 11 years ago, when the cabin was on the lower level. Since then, many things have changed. You're only gonna find first-class suites on their A380 aircraft, so finding the destination where they are flying this aircraft is key in making this redemption. We arrived at Changi Airport and had our driver drop us off at the dedicated first-class check-in reception area, just before Terminal 3. The area is massive with a dedicated check-in desk for you and your luggage. Once we checked in our bags, we were off to a special customs line and then to the exclusive first-class lounge, the private room. Located in Terminal 3, the private room is a lounge within a lounge within a lounge. Access to the private room is reserved exclusively for passengers flying on Singapore Airlines. In their first-class cabin or suites, you can access the private room either on departure or arrival of your flight. Now, if you're flying first class on Star Alliance Airlines, you're going to be diverted to the adjacent Silvercrest first-class lounge instead of the private room. This means the only way in is with a first-class ticket on Singapore Airlines. Upon arriving, we were escorted inside, down the long corridor that separates all the lounges and allowed to sit anywhere we wanted. Inside, there are two main areas. The front is a lounge area, while the back has dining chairs and tables. You'll also find a beverage area showcasing all the bottles of champagne and wine. And with the strict entry requirements, we only saw one other person the entire time we were there. Since we were ready to eat lunch, we decided to have a seat and order some food. You're gonna find separate menus for breakfast and a lot of overlap for lunch and dinner. You're allowed to order as much as you like whenever you want. First up, we started with a glass of champagne. And we started out with an order of the satay and a mixed green salad. Followed that up with the Wagyu beef burger and the penne and shellfish sauce with a king prawn. I will say both were excellent and served very quickly. We were still a bit hungry and decided to share an order of the salmon. For dessert, we had fruit and some chocolates. Overall, the service was spectacular. The food was really good, and the exclusive feeling of being in an almost private space before our flight was probably one of the best parts. Some other features you're going to find in the lounge are sleeping rooms. You can request access to one of these from the concierge and stay up to 2 hours. However, depending on availability and space, you may be able to stay a bit longer. I think the room mimics the suite you're going to find on board the aircraft.
All right, what just happened? So I went to the shower area and I was just asking, is there a wait for a shower? She's like, oh no, sir, not in the first class area. You can take a shower anytime you like.
Of course, no visit to the room is complete without a full shower before your departure, and no reservations are needed. The space is huge with a separate toilet and shower. They also provide a card showing you how to enjoy your shower experience. You're gonna find low leak products and many grooming amenities. The shower was great, and in fact, I took way too much time in here because as I was finishing up, it was time for us to board the aircraft.
Yikes, we're late.
The one unique thing about Changi Airport that I love is security for each flight is at the gate. There's no centralized security area. Once in the boarding area, we were called to board.
Why are you in a hurry?
Now, the wonderful thing about boarding at Changi is everything is labeled, and that sign is our cue to head to the upper deck of the A380 for our suite. Each suite is huge. Now, keep in mind we were traveling together, so of course it's going to look much larger than if you were traveling by yourself. And that's because for certain suites you can lower the center divider. You'll find a total of 6 suites aboard the A380. Seats A and F in rows 1 and 2 both have a center divider that can be lowered if you're traveling with another person, and it can be turned into a double bed. Suites 3A and F have fixed walls and do not lower. So that's something to be aware of if you're traveling by yourself, making sure you select which seat is best for you. As we boarded, we were ushered to our seat and the crew helped us settle in. Now, let's take a look at each suite and what it offers. Instead of your traditional seat that turns into a bed, the space offers a seat and a separate bed, allowing for plenty of room to get up and move around. Each suite measures around 50 square feet. Etihad offers a similar setup, however, after flying both, Singapore is the clear winner in the amount of space. The seat does move around in a circle with the controls in the seat arm, and does offer some recline but does not go flat. In the armrest, you're going to find all the controls for the seat and the IFE. And in row 1, you're going to find an extra monitor for the safety demo and flight map. Next to your seat, you're going to find a small counter that houses the tray table. Each suite has a door with cutout spaces so the crew can take a peek in. And you'll find a huge 32-inch TV that can swivel around, allowing you to view from your suite or your bed. To the other side, you're going to find small storage compartments that has your amenity kit and a pair of B&O headsets to use during your flight and all the power plug ports. The closet is located next to the door and holds a fair amount of your baggage. We both were able to get our roller bags and personal backpacks stored with just enough space. Now, if you think the suite is big, just wait until you see how big the lavatory is. On their A380, you're going to find 2 lavs in the upper deck forward area. Aircraft Right has the larger of the 2. On other carriers like Etihad and Emirates, this is where you're going to find the onboard shower. However, Singapore has turned it into one massive lav with a separate vanity area for doing your makeup, and the other side is where you're going to find the toilet. I'd say this lav felt very luxurious and stocked with plenty of amenities. There's tons of room to walk around and do whatever you need to do, including walking up to the sink to wash your hands. I'm just trying to remember the last time I was able to actually walk inside a lavatory on a plane.
We recommend keeping your seatbelt fastened throughout the flight.
During boarding, the crew welcomed us aboard with warm smiles, kind conversation, and a bottle of Krug. As we were enjoying our welcome drink, we were then offered some pajamas in what almost felt like a Crazy Rich Asians moment.
Alright, so you want to change to something more comfortable? We have the sleeper suit. So we have sit inside it with medium, large, and XL. Which one would you prefer?
Medium.
Medium.
After some pictures, playing around with the swivel seat, and just taking in this aspirational redemption moment, we were in line and ready for takeoff.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain once again. Just falling short of our departure runway. We are now number 3 in the takeoff sequence. Cabin crew takeoff stations, thank you.
After takeoff and right at 10,000 feet, the crew jumped into action. One of the great features with Singapore is their Book the Cook menu. Booking in suites and departing from Singapore, there was a long list of main courses for us to choose from. Now, as with most SQ flights, the crew started out with drinks and chicken sauté appetizer with onions, cucumber, and really spicy peanut sauce. This is a tradition of their service on most flights. Next up was the marinated scallops with shaved fennel citrus salad and lemon basil vinaigrette. The scallops were very tender and marinated well. Before the main course, they served the snow fungus chicken soup with Chinese mushrooms and quail egg. I thought it was delicious and I loved the dishes it was served in. Next up was my Book the Cook meal. From a very extensive selection, I chose the white meat Singaporean chicken rice. This was a very full plate of food. It consisted of poached chicken, sliced and served on long grain rice cooked in chicken broth, and was accompanied by dark soya sauce, tangy ginger and fresh chili, and lime sauces, and a side of soup. When it comes to chicken, I prefer white meat, and I was very happy to see you could choose between white and and dark meat from the Book the Cook menu. After offering more bread and a selection of cheese, we decided to indulge in the caramelized apple pound cake with almond flakes and cinnamon vanilla cream. Overall, both of us were very happy with the service from the crew and the quality of the food. Way more than we would ever eat, and always very accommodating to our needs. At this point, we were stuffed and didn't want to miss the main event, a nice little nap in our double bed in the sky. We requested the crew to turn our 2 suites into a double bed with the most plush, soft, comfortable bedding I've ever had on an airplane. With the divider lowered, it made the space feel larger and more freeing to move around. There was a small hard barrier between the 2 beds, but it really wasn't that noticeable to us. And of course, the nice little touch of the Singapore Bears, and we were really lucky actually getting the limited Disney edition ones. I think there are very few premium airline products that I get excited about, but Singapore Airlines A380 Suites class is the best first class A380 product we have ever flown. The sheer amount of space in itself is the most we've ever had on an airplane, especially when you consider Emirates uses the same aircraft space for 14 seats compared to just the 6 on Singapore. I booked this flight using credit card points and miles, and here's how I did it. I applied and was approved for the American Express Gold Card and used my sign-up bonus of 100,000 points to transfer to Singapore Airlines Kris Flyer and book the first Suite Saver award space. Now, keep in mind you'll need to book this via their own award program called Kris Flyer. The good part, all the major US bank currencies do transfer, including Chase, American Express, Citibank, and Capital One. And we talk about this in our online community, Elevate. You can see the notes below for a link to join. Singapore rarely, if ever, releases first class award space to other partners, so your best bet in booking first class suites is via their program, Kris Flyer. My total cost for this flight per person was 61,500 American Express points transferred to Kris Flyer at about $55 in taxes and fees. I found the award space for this flight via our partner, Seats.aero. They alerted me to the seats with a text message, and I booked right away. We do offer an exclusive discount on a membership, so make sure to check the notes below for the code. My love for Singapore Airlines runs deep, partly from the fact that this was one of my first flights I ever booked with credit card points and miles. Their service is consistent across the board and is known for winning many different industry awards. Is this the best first class flight? I'd say comparing to other A380 first class products we've flown, 1,000 times yes. Now, while some of the Middle East and other carriers have more bells and whistles, like showers and bars, in my opinion, Singapore is in another league. It makes this experience almost what it would feel like flying a private jet. The crew, service, and aircraft are well worth the points and miles. Do keep in mind, if you want to fly this exact seat and product, you'll need to fly the A380 aircraft. They do offer first class on their 777, however, that is a different seat and product. For more content on Singapore Airlines and how to book, check out these other videos. I want you to tell me, have you flown Singapore Airlines A380 first class suites? How was your experience, or is booking this high on your list? And you've got questions? Please leave a comment below.
If you enjoyed this review, please follow us and look for a new episode this Friday of Let's Get to the Points.